Welcome to Volume 1, Episode 1 of This Week in History with Reminisce with Terry. We hope you enjoy this, and if you do, please click the like button, subscribe, and press the bell. Henry I is crowned King of England on the 5th of August, 1100. Henry was the youngest son of William the Conqueror and considered to be a good king. During his reign, the kingdom was mostly peaceful and he secured Normandy as part of the realm. Henry seized the crown when his father was killed in a hunting accident, and his brother Robert disputed his claim and invaded England from France. After a period of peace, Robert once again attacked Henry and was defeated at the Battle of Tewkesbury. Henry kept Robert imprisoned for the rest of his life. Henry's son drowned in the White Ship disaster, throwing the succession into doubt. Henry had left the port of Bathóry for England in the early evening, leaving William Adelin and many of the younger members of the court to follow on that night in a separate vessel, the White Ship. Both the crew and passengers were drunk, and just outside the harbour, the ship hit a submerged rock. The ship sank, killing as many as 300 people, with only one survivor, a butcher from Rouen. Henry's court was initially too scared to report William's death to the king. When he was finally told, he collapsed with grief. Eventually his nephew Stephen of Blois succeeded. Described as short, stocky, and barrel-chested, with black hair, he was a very productive ruler, siring 9 boys and 15 daughters from various mistresses. Interesting facts about Henry. Henry was a bit peeved that his older brothers were gifted land, so he arranged for a little hunting trip on August the 2nd, 1100, with William. Well, as it turns out, hunting trips can be dangerous and lethal. Henry accidentally shot his brother William in the head with an arrow. Oops. William died. Henry, stricken with grief, immediately took control of the treasury at Windsor Castle. Henry died by eating too many lamprey, a type of eel. Being very fond of this dish, he gorged himself to death. Must be something about royalty. The Borgia's henchman, Micheletto, killed the King of Naples by pushing him into a pool filled with lampreys that King Ferrante had built. (1650), August the 7th. Elizabeth Bathory. Born into a Protestant family that controlled Transylvania, Bathory was a member of Hungarian nobility. Her uncle Stephen was the King of Poland. Her notoriety came to light after complaints of the disappearance of young girls from nobility. Upon investigation, it was claimed that Bathory, with the aid of her servants, tortured and murdered over 600 girls. It is believed that the blood of young girls can keep one young. Her servants were executed. But Elizabeth, because she was of nobility, was instead locked up in a tower without windows and remained there until her death. The Lady in Black on Victoria Pass. Near where I live in the Blue Mountains of New South Wales is Victoria Pass, a road built by convicts that takes travellers down the dangerous mountain pass to the fertile flatlands of the Western Districts. This was the scene of the savage murder of 13-year-old Caroline Collitz. Caroline's story is full of tragedy. Her mother took her own life and her father was sentenced to be hung, though this was commuted. She and her younger sister were sent to be in the care of the Collitz, who ran the respectable Hartley Inn. A freed convict, John Walsh, groomed both girls and abused them when Caroline was 12. She married the Collitz son, but left him from their unhappy union. She went to live with Walsh and her sister. Collett had a row with Walsh, and the next morning the beaten and abused body of 13-year-old Caroline was found dumped along the pass. John Walsh was convicted of the murder and hung. Henry Lawson, the famous Australian poet, met the apparition as he traversed the pass and wrote, "Its look appeared to plead for aid. As far as I could see, its hands were on the tailboard laid, its eyes were fixed on me. The face, it cannot be denied, was white, a dull, dead white. The great black eyes were opened wide and glistened in the light." (1890) August the 6th. William Kemmler becomes the first person executed by electric chair. After an alcohol-fueled binge, Kemler got into an argument with his girlfriend, fetched a hatchet and then hit her numerous times, causing her death. Interestingly, his planned execution by electricity was conveniently used by Thomas Edison as a reason not to adopt the alternative AC/DC electricity promoted by George Westinghouse. He conveniently pushed the idea that Westinghouse's alternating current was more dangerous than his own direct current. Kemmler was calm during the preparation and all seemed to go well. When the doctor checked his state after receiving 1,000 volts, it was noticed he was still breathing. "Quick, increase the voltage to 2,000, he called. Blood vessels burst. The stench was unbearable. Smoke rose from the skull cap. All in all, the execution took 8 minutes. Needless to say that America adopted Edison's direct current electricity supply. Thank you very much for joining us, and we look forward to sharing more historical stories in the very near future.